Welcome back to DeFi Live, your weekly pulse check on the crypto and DeFi markets, brought to you by the Onchain Academy. I'm Rich, and every week right here, we break down what actually matters before you make a move. Here's what's on deck today. Ted's going to walk us through current market conditions, what's driving price action this week, and where the smart money seems to be positioning. Then we'll dig into the Fear and Greed Index, where sentiment sits right now, what that number is really telling us, and why it matters more than most people realize. And to close things out, Ted's going to give you his read on where he sees the market heading over the next 7 days. Not a guarantee, just an informed take based on the data in front of us. As always, this is education, not financial advice. What you do with it is up to you. All right, let's get into it. Ted, take it away.
Welcome to DeFi Live. Thanks, Rich, for the introduction. I'm actually going to bring Rich back on, but how you doing, Travis?
Amazing. How are you doing?
Excellent. Good. Thursday. So generally we would have Megan on for some social media updates. Today we're going to have something a little special. Travis and I are going to give you our top 5 altcoin picks for the bull run. So we'll see how similar we are on our picks. But in the meantime, Rich has something to say. He's going to bring us in. All right. Hey, Rich.
Bitcoin is testing the important $80,000 level today after briefly trading above it. Ethereum is trading near $2,500 and has gained approximately 3% over the past 24 hours. The global cryptocurrency market capitalization is approximately $2.61 trillion. Bitcoin dominance remains close to 60%, while DeFi accounts for roughly 15% of today's cryptocurrency trading volume. Market sentiment is now firmly in greed. Depending on the provider, today's crypto fear and greed reading ranges from 67, greed, to approximately 80, extreme greed. CoinStats reports 80 today, compared with 39 last week. That is an extraordinary change in sentiment. It confirms that confidence has returned, but it also warns us that leverage, overconfidence, and profit-taking risks are increasing. Institutional demand remains one of the strongest positive stories. United States spot Bitcoin funds have reportedly attracted approximately $2.8 billion since the latest inflow streak began. On August 26th, Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs both recorded another day of positive flows. DeFi is also strengthening. Total value locked across decentralized finance protocols is approximately $88.6 billion, up around 1.6% over 24 hours. Aave remains the dominant lending protocol, with nearly $18 billion in total value locked, and more than $12 billion in active loans. Stablecoin capital is also staying in the ecosystem. Total stablecoin supply is now approximately $304 billion, up about $2.4 billion over the past week. That capital can support payments, lending, trading, and liquidity pools. Another positive development comes from the United Kingdom. The British government plans to give the Bank of England a new objective, supporting innovation in stablecoins and digital payment systems while maintaining financial stability. The biggest event to watch is the Federal Reserve's Jackson Hole Symposium taking place from August 27th through August 29th. This year's theme is financial innovation, payments, and policy. However, inflation remains a concern. Headline: PCE inflation was 3.7% in July, while core PCE remained at 3.3%, both above the Federal Reserve's 2% goal. Fed officials are warning that inflation may remain too high, meaning interest rate increases are still possible later this year. Today's takeaway is positive but cautious. Bitcoin is testing $80,000, Ethereum and DeFi are gaining, ETF demand is improving, and stablecoin supply remains strong. But after such a rapid move from fear to extreme greed, this is not the time to abandon risk management or chase unsustainable yields. This information is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Back to you, Ted and Travis.
Thanks, Rich. Good
Yeah,
information. He's a smart guy, man. He knows.
He's very smart. There's a
All
lot going
right.
on there.
Oh yeah, that's a mouthful. I'm gonna actually show my screen once again here. I'm gonna get right into the coins, and I put together a little PowerPoint.
Gonna make a slideshow.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a slideshow. I'm gonna just like that. How's that going?
Boom. All right.
All right, Ted's 5 bull run coins. So you can pretty much see them right there, but I'll go through them. Number one, the bull case is broader than price momentum. Yeah, well, we shall see. My first one is Sol. I truly believe in Sol. Combines speed, liquidity, and institutional adoption. There's a lot of companies taking Sol on. I think it's going to give ETH a good run on this bull run. It's sitting around $77 or something like that, I think, right now. Um, Let me just check that before we get into the Arbitrum. Sol is, whoa. It went up from 77. It's up to $108 already. So it's on a roll. Crap, I wanted to
Yeah.
buy it lower than that. All right, my second pick is Arbitrum. Scales Ethereum. It's an L2. Ethereum scaling, stablecoin payment, asset tokenization. Um, yeah, I'm not. This is actually AI helped me with this one. I can't lie, and I'm not big on L2s. I believe a chain should have everything encompassed, such as Sol. So, but Ethereum L2, Arbitrum, teach their own. Number three, hype turns exchange activity into an on-chain growth story. Actually, Hyperliquid was actually mentioned by the president, so I think it's going to have some feet in this one. And let me just see if I can see what hype's going at right now. Hype's sitting around 84, $85. So when it was $20, I was going to buy it. I thought it would have been good, but I'm a little slow. There's a lot of things going on here. Number four, RWA. This is what I totally believe in this. Real world asset growth is real. Ondo and Sky are different bets. Ondo is a distribution and tokenized finance platform. RWA tokens may benefit as treasuries, credit funds, and equities. Sky is a governance and ecosystem exposure to the former Maker protocol. Oh, it's Maker. So it was the old MKR. You remember Maker, Travis?
Yep.
Yeah. So now it's called Sky. I do remember that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm big Maker. Maker is a little. It's expensive one. I think it's probably close to Bitcoin. Um, Three tokens targeting three different infrastructures. So these are all AI and DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure, DPIN. So Render, I'm sure you've heard of Render. Render does decentralized GPU network serving creative rendering workloads. So when you do any film or anything like that, you always have to render your film so it is compatible to be shown. So it's a good one. I know Travis, you're big on the Tau now, the bit tensor. So that is another one coming. It's a machine intelligence with subnets. So if you're ever interested in any of these, do a deep dive before you decide to go buying any of these. And HNT.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I think you have. I believe. Just bear with me for 1
Abbreviated
second.
as that.
HNT is. I have. That's HMT. I want HNT. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's helium. You've heard of helium?
Oh, I've heard of helium. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So helium has all the internet bases, and it's wireless coverage. So you can actually buy a helium node and broadcast free Wi-Fi from wherever you are, and you get paid for broadcasting that Wi-Fi. So it's pretty cool, and they're doing quite well. So different themes carrying different forms of risk. Sol, I disagree with the risk level on that one as high. Arbitrum as an L2, I agree with that one as high. Hype, I don't believe it's very high. I think Hyperliquid's going to do, especially when the president on national TV says it's going to be now an American software.
Right.
Ondo and Sky, high. Yeah, I could probably see that. Render is very high. I disagree. And Tau, well, you've seen Tau, how it works, and Gordon's a big Tau guy, and I've seen a lot of work
Yep.
come from him. So competitive narrative, bull case confirms and reduce exposure. So yeah, so be careful, do your deep dives into these, and make sure that you do have conviction before you decide you're going to jump into any of these. So one, track usage and fees, check token unlocks. That's a big one. Checking token unlocks when you're deciding on what tokens that you want, because if these whales have an unlock coming up, the price will drop dramatically. Size, position, make sure that there's not 100 billion of them out there, unlike Bitcoin, which has 21 million. But yeah, that's the 5 that AI came up with.
So it's interesting you mentioned like how much money you put into these platforms or protocols. And I was kind of doing a little bit of research. And if a person were to, for example, take like what the top influencers are doing, and generally they have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And what they're doing is so like 35% BTC, 25% ETH, 20% Sol, 10% Sui. And I've heard some mixed things about Sui, because if you look at what these protocols are doing, what their use cases are, and whether they've done anything in the last 5 years, depending on who you listen to, Sui is one of those ones that they say hasn't really done anything. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. There's just nothing happening with it. So they're not really sure, but it's on the list. Link is another one, 5% Link and 5% Hype. Now, that's today. I'm going to say that Hype is definitely an up and comer, because they've got some really good use case. They're doing some really crazy things and making some huge moves on AI. And this whole case for AI, this gets so big into, like, we were having a political conversation earlier, but like data centers, AI, nuclear power, clean energy, like all these things are just, it's getting crazy. And I was listening to a newscast on NVIDIA and what they're talking about. I mean, they're already they're saying they're going to have 105% growth in the next year.
That's crazy. They're already
insane.
Worth $1 trillion.
Yeah, and they're saying some of them are some of these companies are generating $1 billion a day in revenue, and I'm like, wow, like you got to think about what. So then, what are these platforms doing, and what are they doing with the AI, and who are they working with? And honestly, you think like how distracted people are right now nowadays. And that's the problem. People are so distracted by all the things that they're missing all the homework, like actually looking at what they're doing. And there is so much going on that's not in the news. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, did you have 5 that you had picked, or because I think I got a couple there that you got?
Yeah, so BTC and ETH are probably the top 2. They're definitely the bull run bag kind of things. Solana, I'm still kind of like, well, it's not my top thing. I'll just pull up my I usually just look at my wallet and it tells me exactly what I'm invested in. tells exactly what I'm convicted in. So Aave is one of my top ones because I actually use it. So going back to that whole who said that? Rich Dad Poor Dad. Hey, You own one of these, maybe you should own some Apple, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
use
exactly.
Aave. I've been using Aave from day one. So
Yeah, I love
why
Aave.
wouldn't I own some Aave,
Yeah.
right? Aerodrome Finance. I actually do believe in Aerodrome. It's a large platform. They're doing lots of really, really neat things. So that is another one. However, um, I will say this. Hyperlink is something that is I feel is up and coming, and Tau is definitely uh, where you want to talk use case. When I've met people who personally have actually used the utility of Tau and their the bit tensor like the subnets,
Yeah.
that's smart. That's really smart. Another one that is kind of new last week, I've been kind of reading up on some of the meme coins like Pump Token.
Yep.
That is a social token.
Yep.
And what do we have now in the world today? We have a ton of social media that is just driving everything. I thought it was some kind of like the Trump coin, and it's not. It is actually very uh, purposeful in what it does.
Oh, 100%. It is a pump is like a what do they call them? Like a forecaster, like
It's where everybody can share their ideas too. Like people are just putting in their ideas. Hey, this is what I
yeah,
think. This is what I think. So I mean, it's like an online Twitter,
right.
that's been tokenized. And how is that not going to do well? I mean, oh my God, unless they get scammed or rip every bunch of people off, I don't see how it can't do well. It is not just trending, but they have found they say if you're going to have an idea, solve a problem.
Right.
They have definitely solved the problem. They brought people together in a place where they can actually monetize what they're saying. And I mean, it's no different than Facebook.
Exactly.
So, so yeah, so Sui and Chainlink were on my list. I've always been a fan of Sui because of people I know that have talked about what the use case is for Sui. But again, what have they done? I'm like, well, that's a point. You got a point there. I think coins like the pump coin is or pump token is got some pretty good purpose behind it. Chainlink and Hyperliquid, these are big protocols. Some of these protocols are being brought to other countries. Companies like Visa are using them. And another one I hold XRP as well.
Right.
So
You
that's
you
one of
are part
my
of the army.
I am part of the army, and I believe it's going to do something. When they do it, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like I'd say 2% of my portfolio.
Well, on that, I want to share with you Rand from Banter. His picks are very close to what we were talking about. He's got a couple others, and I just want to point one out here. Obviously, Bitcoin was a big one, Ethereum, Solana, Hyperliquid. BitTensor's up there, number 7. Near. I like Near and Venice because I use Venice every day.
Yeah,
Venice
so do I.
AI. Little surprised that WorldCoin, but you never know, right? And Cantor is a how would you say it's a corporate coin through all the big whale corporate BlackRock and all them are using the Cantor. Pump, there you go. Pump's up there. Look at the price of Pump right now. You could buy a couple 100,000 of them.
Right.
Um, Telegram, Gram it's a good one, and the big one, this one I'm going to be looking at is called Cards. So what they are doing is for card collectors, and there's millions of card collectors out there. What they're doing is they're digitalizing the actual card, physical card, and sending you that, but they're also putting that card in a vault. So at any time, because when you buy that card, you will own that NFT, and it's backed by the actual card. So that card is in a vault, and yeah. So I think they're. I want to see what the actual, the tokenization behind the cards is, but I got to do a little bit more research. But at 19 cents, and the market cap's really low. It's only at 75 million. But it's interesting the different things that they're doing for like real world assets. So I'm gonna have to see about that one. But yeah, this is Rand's 17 coins for the the big bull run for 26-27. So we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll mark it up as the bull run goes through and see how we do, and then we'll make another column, see what the price is at the end, and see how badly I messed up.
Right. Yeah, I look at how the different influencers talk about their coins that they're looking at, but some of these guys have some pretty strong teams behind them that are doing the homework. And I
Yeah,
think that's the important part is to the beauty of social media is that you can bring this information together and it's not just dependent on what I think or what you think. We actually are able to take what everybody else knows, and that's the beauty of community, is when you listen to
exactly.
somebody talk about generally we're not all drawing the same, we're getting different information because AI takes our algorithmic information and then finds the information, and everybody has different algorithms that they're dealing with, so it's going to bring up different information, which is amazing. So that's the power of
Yeah.
AI.
And AI knows you, right? So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
really interesting. So what do you think about some of these coins on Rand's list here?
The pump is definitely one. Jitter has got a lot going on in the news right now. I've never heard of Telegram cards or Derive. Canton, I mean, the talk about Canton, they're saying Canton could pass BNB, and I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty lofty statement.
Isn't
BNB is
it?
massive. Um,
Massive.
Venice AI, I honestly I love Venice AI.
I
I
love Venice.
really appreciate how that AI works. Near, I actually own. I had just looking. I actually have some Near in my Coinbase wallet. Um, and one of the ones that is not on here, XLM is another one that I have in there as well. But BitTensor, absolutely. And that one has definitely got some use case. Hyperliquid for sure. And the top four, well, and Zcash I find is really um what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial, but it's
Yeah,
private money. And
right.
that is the whole idea of the blockchain is hands off from the government, hands off from the financial institutions, taking control of your own finances. I don't see how it could fail.
Yeah. Again, like you said, it is controversial. I think it will be brought up as controversial because it is a privacy coin, and the government can't see it, they can't get their hands on it, then they've got a problem. Because I know they always like to dip their finger in things where most of the other coins are pretty. You can follow them on the blockchain. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Do you own any Zcash, Travis?
I do not have any Zcash, but I have been looking at it, and I think that's going to be something I'm going to look at. So, and then
How
you're
about
talking
World?
about Rich was talking about something too when it comes to these coins, and he was talking about leverage.
Yeah,
And we did touch on leverage earlier and my experience I had with it when I first started doing crypto. And people are going to be enticed to leverage these coins and make some big money. And I got to say, like, man, it's when you're trading leverage, it's no different than in stocks. You want to blow an account? That's a perfect way to do it. Know what you're doing. That's all I got to say.
and I don't think it's going to be a great idea, but I'm going to set up a an account, and I'm going to do some leverage, and I'm going to show our people how you can blow yourself up. I
And
think it's
yeah,
good.
there's lots of
Yeah,
accounts. You get a lot of places for now where you can go and you're trading. You sign up and you get an account. It's actually not your money you're trading with, but you're also following. You're in a Discord where they're showing you basically your shadow trading, right? And
right.
so, and that is the smart way to do it because if you just go at it on your own, most people are very emotional, and there's lots of things to know about candle patterns. And there's a guy that I follow. He's a very established trader. He's a young guy. He's been doing it for years already. And he's like, "Oh yeah, make sure you study candles. You got to understand patterns. And I'm like, who does that? Who, of all the things that you can be distracted with? I mean, I feel like I'm just grinding away at all the things I need to get done during the day. And so for me to sit down and actually relax is and do nothing is almost never happens because I want to learn more. But you turn your head to the left or the right or the left, and you're seeing different things all the time. You're like, okay, what am I focusing on? Zcash over here, Hyperliquid over here, Sui, Uni. Oh, wait a second, we're gonna learn about leverage. We're gonna learn about this. So yeah, stick around. We're gonna learn about some leverage. So I'm right on the same page as with you about learning leverage. So maybe we could run some do some tests and show people how that works.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, how do you learn? You learn by doing,
Yeah.
and you learn through other people. Let them lose the money. So I'll set an account up and do some crazy leveraging and see what happens. Definitely,
Yeah.
I'll use my emotions because I heard that's the way most of the traders work.
Right.
Right?
Super excited about something. And I in my VFAT positions right now, I'm doing a 1.5% range on one of them. And you know, you got to look at it and you go, "Oh my God, it's going down. Oh my God, it's going up." And it's like, "Yeah." And then I wait an hour and look, "Oh, it's almost back in range again."
Right. Yeah. So
Like,
I'm doing a one for obviously for the corporation, and my goal is do not touch it for 1 hour because the range could be $1 and it could sit there for like 20, 30, 40 minutes, but then it will go back in range again. So
yeah,
it's like my goal or my rule in regards to when you're doing pools and you've got a half decent range like a 10 or a 20 or 30%, leave it for 24, 48 hours, let it run. It will come back in range and you'll save a lot of money that way, and you'll save a lot of impermanent loss depending on the tokens that you're using.
well, and I've had my max five position at a 4.9% range, and it's only rebalanced once in 8 days. And that is um, a ETH CBBTC position. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Except for MaxFi and Snuggle, the main reason that we use them is because it's free when it goes out of range. It's a free snuggle.
Yeah,
So generally, you want to go out of range a lot because it's all free to get back in again.
right. It's just your delay is you got to change your delay then. If it's free for the rebalances, then maybe I should shorten my delay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I got 24 hours on that one, but it stayed in range and I'm making money, so it's like $34 a day, and I know my bank account certainly wouldn't do that.
no,
So, I mean, yeah, pays for a meal. Small
yeah,
meal anyway.
yeah. And what's
So,
nice is you probably got more than one pool. So you make 34 here, 100 here, 20 here. You can pay for all kinds of things, and you could set it up like that. I want a new car, so I need to make that $100 a day here. I got to take Mel out for dinner every, at least once a week. So that's with the $30 a day. Yep,
yeah,
there you go.
100%. And here's the other thing too is like I got home last night. I had to make a run to the city, and here's a perfect example of you never know what's going to happen. I start heading towards the city. It's an hour and 45-minute drive. I get half an hour north of where I live, traffic, complete stop. I can't get off the highway. It took me 40 minutes to get onto a turnoff. I get into a turnoff. I go north. I find out that a truck had dropped a load of something on the ground, and there was cars with flat tires everywhere.
Oh,
All the roads were swept off, but all I could see was these cars being picked up with all these flat tires. I'm like, oh wow, okay. You just never know. So that delayed my whole day. So I didn't get home till about 1:30 in the morning last night. And when I got home, I sat down at the computer, I rebalanced a couple things. And when I got up in the morning, Mel's like, "Aren't you so like, what's your position? How did you do? What's going on?" I said, "Well, it's doing what it's doing." She goes, "Aren't you excited?" I'm like, "Mel, investing is supposed to be boring. If you're that like wound up about your investment, like, yes, I'm excited about what I'm making, but at the same time, you know, it's supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be just part of your process. right? If you get emotional about it, that's when you're going to make emotional decisions. So I try to keep that in mind, expect the unexpected, stay calm, relax. Things are gonna level out, and in the end, it'll be better for you in the long run. So
Excellent advice, Travis. Excellent advice. All right. Any final words for today? We've gone a little bit over time today, but well worth it. Hopefully, a lot of knowledge was put out today, and we'll have more for Sunday. We'll have to come up with something good for Sunday.
yeah, I just gotta say, like if I look at Ethereum, for example, because one of my trading pairs, it's kind of sideways, It's got a range like 2,400 to 2,500. That's a pretty small range. It's just been trading right in that zone. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, volatility is great, but you know what? Sideways is great too for fees. So
exactly.
yeah.
Uh, all right. I'm going to wrap it up for today. Thanks again, Travis.
All right, brother. You too.
And we'll see you on Sunday. And just putting some more numbers together for on next Tuesday. We'll come together and we'll see how the competition's doing as well.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
Hey,
You take
brother.
care.
See you later. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a good one.
And that's a wrap on this week's DeFi Live. Quick recap. We covered where the market stands right now, what the Fear and Greed Index is telling us about sentiment, and Ted's outlook for the week ahead. Remember, everything you heard today is for educational purposes, so always do your own research and make decisions that fit your own risk tolerance. If this kind of weekly breakdown is helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode. We'll be back same time, same place, with a fresh read on the markets. And if you want to go deeper than a weekly video, real structure, real curriculum, real community, head over to the Onchain Academy, the DeFi protocol at www.thedefiprotocol.com and check out what we've built. Until next week, this is Rich, signing off from DeFi Live. Stay sharp out there.